Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm closing out Paycheck 2, setting up Paycheck 3 in my EveryDollar app. This is my second to last video on my EveryDollar series. I've decided going forward in April that I will be switching to doing and showing tutorials on, well, not tutorials, but showing Excel on how you can set up your own similar setup with EveryDollar in Excel for just your daily spending as well as your monthly bills and how you can combine them together. It's a very simple process, very easy formulas. It's mostly just addition, subtraction, and yeah, I'm excited to get into that series starting April, and I'll have that set up and ready for you right after the 1st of April. So I still got to put all the stuff in and get all this information moved over to my Excel, but I'm excited to do it. I'm not giving up on EveryDollar. EveryDollar is an excellent app to use. If you are in need of an app, I definitely recommend it. I'm just not using it anymore because I don't feel comfortable promoting it based on my faith. Ramsey Solutions has had some controversies recently, and I just feel uncomfortable right now. If I feel comfortable again, I may start doing them again, or I may just continue with something else. It's good to switch up how you're doing or how you're tracking from apps to Excel sheets to whatever. I don't really like Excel, but the way I do it in Excel, I like how it looks. Here, I love how it looks. YNAB, I don't really like the look of it. Aesthetically is not pleasing. Other Excel spreadsheets that other people have sold or give as free, they look very boxy and straight lines and corners, and that always bugs me. Mine it still has the boxes, but it's still a little more aesthetically pleasing. So as best as I can make it, I like different scripts, I like different things, and that's what makes me feel more comfortable. So with that being said, like I said, we're doing Paycheck 2, close out Paycheck 3, set up in my EveryDollar app, and if you're wanting to see a way to do your spending categories in EveryDollar, paycheck to paycheck, because that is where the nitty gritty really happens, then keep watching because that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, I have plenty of money left to budget. And the reason is because my tax return, or our tax return, my husband's tax return, is coming in, is scheduled for Wednesday of this week coming up. Today's the 21st. What's that, 24th or something like that? It's scheduled, I can see the pending deposit, but scheduled for March 24th or something like that. And so I went ahead and put it in as a budgeted item. And this is how I did it. Tax return, and then it's the federal. I have not got notification. I've got notification on my state that they accept our tax return, but it was 28-day process. And so from the time I submitted my taxes e-filing to the time I, am to get it 28 days later, has not come yet. In fact, this federal tax return said it was going to be 28 days too, and it took like less than 2 weeks. So I was like, wow, I didn't think we were going to get it until after April, but we went ahead and got it in March, and I'm fine with that. I don't mind getting it early. I don't like getting it late, but I don't mind getting it early. So the federal tax return is here. I just added it as another paycheck. I labeled it tax return federal, so I knew which tax return it was. I'm still new to this federal and state thing. We are a Navy family, and our home of record at the time in the Navy was Florida. They don't have state taxes in Florida, so I never filed for state before until my husband retired here in Virginia, and Virginia requires state taxes. So I did file for state taxes when I was younger. Before I got married, I used to live in North Carolina. They have state taxes, but yeah, it had been over 20 some years before since I had filed a state return. I was like, oh man, what is this all about? So yeah, so April we'll probably get our state return, and I'll put that line item in, and I'll probably just, when I roll over from March to April, even though I'm not going to record after April, I'll probably still keep using the free app and my paid version for a while until I feel like I'm done, but I won't be videoing them. So there's that. But if I, but when the state return comes, I'll have this roll over from March to April, and it carries all your categories over and the amounts over. And then I would edit it to say tax return state. And then I would put that line item in. And then after April, I would just delete the line because I wouldn't need it anymore. That's how I would do it if I was continuing to use this. I've been using EveryDollar since this June or July of 2019. So it's only been a couple of years. But when I first started using it, I just fell in love with it. So here we go. So there's tax return. We have our stimulus. This is our stimulus. And that was the money there. I just put it as other because I do always have an other category. But since I used that for stimulus and I wanted to see tax return somewhere else, that's how I labeled it. I could actually change this to stimulus if I wanted to and make note of it. But I have stimulus written here, so I wouldn't put it there. It's whatever. I go back and forth on things all the time. It's weird, but it is what it is. Let's see. But other than the tax return, all of our pays, yep, there's no third paycheck. He gets 2 regular paychecks most months. April, we're actually getting a third paycheck on the last day of April, and that's crazy to think because he gets paid every other Friday, and so that's why I keep a third paycheck in here for his salary, but I only need it twice a year, so I just leave it there so I don't forget to add a whole new line and stuff like that. And it helps with the algorithms when you do insights for the paid version. I'm pretty sure Insights is just for the paid version of it, and I like keeping it separate like that. So, transferred. This was just our buffer. I transferred back into the income to use and spend. I didn't actually move any money around. But you're going to see a lot of spending, a lot of charges. I'm actually thinking about upgrading my Mac, which I just bought a couple years ago too, and getting one with more storage on it, so I can do more videos and have it stored. So, but I'm going to trade my old one in. I found out last night I can get $330 for my MacBook Air that I have, which is kind of nice. So we'll see. Let's see. Oh, this came out today. Let me see if I can. That's not going to work. So there's a couple ways of putting things in. You can click here, but I don't want to move my picture. And you go down here and you add, whatever the charge is. Or I can create up here, add a new transaction. This window will pop up. I'm going to put $310, which is our tithing to our church. And tithing. And then that's actually going to pop up over here, and I can drag it and drop it. That way I don't have to move my picture, and everything still gets done. I also did a tithing for a stimulus check. My husband felt it was very important that we did that, so $560, which is 10% of it, tithing, and we tithed it to Greater Europe Missions. I usually call it GEMS, but Greater Did I spell that right? I always spell it wrong. And we have a couple missionaries that we support in that organization, and so we gave them an extra boost, and so that worked out really well. Slide that right there. Oh, it didn't go. It's lagging for some reason. There we go. So all the tithing and giving for the month has been taken care of, and now we're down to our paycheck to spending budget. As you can see, we're over in every category. We had a lot of unbudgeted because we got the stimulus check. My husband wanted to buy a new phone, so he spent money on a new phone, and we bought a stove this month and all these things, and we cash flowed everything, which was awesome. So there we go. So what I tend to do here, and actually I need to budget this here. Let me find this. There we go. So this is just what is going to be sitting in my checking account. It's not in there yet, but I'm planning on it for it to show up. This is what's actually in my checking account because this is what's left over of the stimulus. At the end of the month, when I close out all my transactions before I go into April, that's when I'll be deciding what goes into savings, what will go into our vacation fund, because part of the stimulus was going to go in our vacation fund, how much we're going to save, and for our emergency fund, and just move forward. So let's delete this number. Now this shows up at $6,000, and it totaled both numbers together, what was in my balance forward and the tax return. And so now I have $6,546.37 here, and I'm at an EveryDollar budget. Oh, there's that. So now, because I'm at an EveryDollar budget, I can balance these without having to do any math. I love that. So let's take this. Hence why the picture is down at the bottom of the screen because I need this part right here. I need this right here so I can put all the correct numbers and my picture won't hide it. All right, so what we have going on is $583.61 is what we spent on groceries. Now I'm $81.68 over. My goal is always to stay within a certain amount for the entire month. So I just keep carrying over throughout the month. Now, these negatives are going to really be thrown out of whack because stimulus money came in and I'm going to blow the budget completely. I stocked up on some things that were a little pricey for the house. We bought some things. We've been to Home Depot a few times. In fact, we just spent $200 for window blinds that we needed in our master bedroom. We have blackout curtains, but the morning sun hits our master bedroom first. And it's just really bright. And the blackout curtains work really well, but there's gaps and light still gets through and our room's still pretty bright. And I don't like that. So we bought some blinds that are blackout blinds as well. So it's not so bright. And when you're in Virginia near the beach, it's very bright and sunny unless it's a rainy day. And most days are pretty bright and sunny. So there's that. So I'm going to reduce my grocery household here. Now my grocery household for this month, I budgeted $1,200 instead of $1,000, but I still think I'm going to blow the budget because I was spending money that from the stimulus check. So any overages you see will be covered by the extra money in the stimulus coming up, or that's already there in the tax return. I'm just going to leave it sitting in the checking account until the end of the month before I move anything. As you can see, it says $20. So I bought a bunch of groceries. I did a big grocery run yesterday, and you will see that in my weekly check-in coming up Friday. What is Friday? Let me look at my calendar. I'd use the one behind me, but that one is last year's calendar. I just like how pretty it is. So that wouldn't work. Friday, the 26th, I will have my pen and paper budgeting planner weekly check-in. So there's that. So you'll see what I spent here. And restaurants is the next thing. So let's change that. And I've been doing a lot of restaurants. Again, when you see a big amount of money in your checking account and you're just like, okay, let's just not do, let's just buy dinner tonight because I just don't feel like cooking. It's very tempting, and I've done that a lot. And I know I'm going to do it. My husband's just like, sure, I don't care. He's all game for it too. So I'm $55.06 over budget, so I'm going to take it out of this restaurant budget here. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And that lowers it down to $204.94. All right, so there's that. Restaurants were doing good. Let's see for this paycheck period because I'm already in paycheck 3 spending budget. Miscellaneous, we went really over. The big reason, if you saw my other video, is because we bought this fence that was metal, wrought iron, almost dark black enamel fence with a little gate to keep the Canadian geese out of our backyard. And it worked beautifully because they're not there anymore. They're not even in our pond. We have our pond back and all that stuff. So it looks great. So it was $218.57 cents over. 200, that amount is probably, no, the fence was only $168 or something like that. So that and a couple other items is why we were over in miscellaneous, which wipes this out. This is going to be negative. Yeah, it's going to be negative. So I'm going to delete this. All right, and it says $1.43 to budget. That's all I have for the budget, and I'm already $96 over in the hole. And I'm going to leave it like that until the end of the month so I can get an actual account of how much we're going to be over budget at the end of the month, and you'll see that at the end of the month. So no problem there. I already know I've pretty much blown this whole budget anyway, but that's okay. And I didn't increase the amounts because we got the stimulus. I just want to see how close we could stay to our planned amount and how far over we're going to be, kind of thing. So we'll wait and see. Have spent some more on gas. Gas prices, I guess, across the country have gone up. I've seen $2.78. I've seen $2.68. I've seen $2.95. I've seen all kinds of things. So a lot of prices are going up, and so we'll be spending more out of the gas budget. My husband, with spring here, he loves to go out in the wilderness a little bit, so he'll take a drive and just go, be one with nature, because he loves fishing and wildlife stuff, and that's what he does. So that's where he is right now. I said, go out there. I don't want to, do your thing, and I'll stay inside, because I was outside yesterday, and oh, my sinuses and my allergies before bed was just awful. And it was not fun at all. So we were over by $10.54 in gas. Not a big deal. Like I said, he's taking more rides out. He's been actually going to the office more and going to the naval naval base to do his work, because he's a Navy contractor. And so that's picking up again, which is really nice, that he can get out and do his job and not sit in a chat room online and help people. It's easier face-to-face in front of the equipment and stuff that he has to work with. So walking them through over the phone or over a chat box is just, not as easy as it seems. So there's that. So I'm going to lower this just a little bit so that we can see what we have left to budget, which is $89.46. And so we still have $57.61. And we'll probably spend our whole budget, $250 budget for gas, because we are getting out more and it's warmer, and I'm actually partially vaccinated. I have one vaccine shot, and I get my second one April 6th. And so pray for me on that one. I hear the second one is a doozy, and I'm a chicken when it comes to getting shots and being in pain like that. So yeah, if you think of me, kind of pray for me on that. But I am excited to get it, to feel safe, to feel comfortable. I'd like to go in-person church more. I would like to do in-person Bible studies more. I would like to visit more friends. I have 2 or 3 friends that I can visit that we're kind of in each other's circles, and family and things like that. So yeah, just to be out and social more would be awesome. Though our numbers are dropping, we just pray that spring break doesn't ruin that. So that is how I paycheck to paycheck budget in here for my spending categories. Spending categories are very important. So I do need to put in some things. So let me grab my notebook real quick, and we can do those things together, which was shopping, of course. Let me see. So I'll be right back. I'm going to find everything, and then we'll get into it. Okay, I am back. I have my notes here to the side. I know exactly what transactions I need to do. I have 2 unbudgeted items that need to go in right here. And then I have 1 sinking fund item that needs to go here at the heating and AC. You're actually going to see the heating and AC go negative, which is okay, because all these little sinking funds here are put into one savings account. The money is just put directly into a savings account. So when you see my paper budget, you'll see sinking funds, $482.66 or whatever it is right now. That's the total, all these little planned things. When I spend out of it, then because I have all these little planned things that haven't happened, then a lot of them don't happen till the end of the year, I have money to cover if I go negative for a little bit. And you'll see it go back to positive next month. So that I will show you. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to put it back here. And I'm going to put 2 transactions and a sinking fund in, or a sinking fund transaction in here. And then we're just going to slide them over. So the first one's going to be, let's see, Home Depot. So we went and bought some new blinds, I said earlier, because it's so bright when I wake up in the morning. And that was $228.41. Each set of blinds were about $53, and they're really thick and they block light, but they were worth the investment. We absolutely love them. We have same kind in another room, and it works perfectly in that room, so I can't wait to get them up in this room. I'm waiting till later in the day with my husband to help put those up, and so we're excited about that. Let's see, that was yesterday, so I'm going to change the date on this, and then I'm going to put Home Depot blinds, if I can spell. Blinds. There we go. So that little note just reminds me what we paid for and why it was $284 or $228.41 and all that stuff. So it's a new transaction. Now it popped up over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it. Oops, I'm in the wrong spending category. That needs to be collapsed. That's why. There we go. Oops. So that needs to go here. Now this is going to, I have 0 budgeted. But I'm going to build this up and find out what the actual number is before I put the budgeted number amount in. You can total it up before and just put it in and then slide them in. It doesn't matter. It balances out in the end. The second transaction I need to do is a fee that was charged for Greater Europe missions. If you saw my paper budget or my closeout for Paycheck 2, I did a tithing of $560 to Greater Europe missions. You saw me put that and slide that up there earlier. But I'm putting in the unbudgeted or miscellaneous or whatever you want to call it category of $16.80 because the organization we go through, we don't want the missionary to pay the 3% charge for the transaction. It's just a fee that the company can't afford, so they pass it along to either the missionary or the individual donating. And we don't want to make them pay it, so we're going to pay it for them. And because it was such a large amount, it was 3% of the $560. So $16.80. That wasn't part of the tithe, and that's why it's here. I did that last night. And then Greater Europe Mission fee included with tithe above. There. So that will just remind me that above, when I did the 560, this is the fee for it, and the two together will be combined in the checking account, but not separated like it here is here in EveryDollar. So I'm going to drag and drop that. So that's my total unbudgeted right there, $245.21, which means when I plan this number is going to drop. So here we go, $245.21, and then there we go. So I planned for it, this number dropped, we're good to go there. Now, as far as this number, I can go ahead and put it back here, because even though something in the sinking funds is going to go negative, again, I have enough sinking funds and things being money put into those items that it covers this $10 discrepancy that I have for the month of March. Normally I would pay, and I don't really have to pay, Climate Makers, which is our company that does our heating and AC, maintenance and stuff, the package that they offer every year, until April. But I already got the bill, and I'm like, well, we have all this money. Let's go ahead and do it now so I don't forget later and we don't blow all the money. So I'm going to move left to budget here down into my balance forward. This is just my buffer in my checking account. It's what's sitting there at the end of the month. This is the budgeted amount, what we plan to have at the end of the month. It doesn't mean it's actually all in my physical checking account because I'm still waiting for that tax return to be deposited. So this is part of that. So down here, I have heating and AC, and that's what the Climate Maker's contract is for. I'm going to go here, I'm going to add, and I'm going to put $230. But you're going to see I only have $220 in the fund. It's okay. The check is already cleared. I think it cleared on the 19th. Actually, I think it cleared yesterday, 20th. And then we're going to type Climate Makers, and this is how they actually spell it, contract. So there we go. And add a new expense. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to drop it right here, and it's going to give me a negative. There you go. So when I roll over from March to April, that negative is going to go away because it's automatically going to get $20. Now I divide the contract. Let's see, $20 for, oops, sorry. Do math in my head. $20, $230 divided by $20. It's almost 12 months. So $20 a month is almost an entire year. Let's see, 20 times 12 is $240. So it's $10 more than what I need. So eventually this could start building up that extra $10. So this is my first complete year cycle. Again, it's normally not due until April, so when I would have done it next month, April, it would have had $10 left over anyway. When I move from March to April now, even though I've already paid the contract, it'll still say the same thing, $10 in the account. And that I can actually just leave, or I can adjust it something else. I'm just going to leave it in heating and AC, and then if it grows too big or I have somewhere else I can allocate it for, then I will just allocate it somewhere else in the budget. But yeah, that $10 is covered by the 70, these 500, 700, 200 funds that I'm not using anytime soon, but within the next year. No worries there. So there's that. And that's the cool thing about a sinking fund is you can be negative in somewhere, especially if you know it's just going to be for a little bit, and then be positive later. So it just holds you over a little bit of credit. That's your credit that you don't pay interest on. You can actually gain interest if it's an interest earning account. So there's that. Let me see if I have anything else going on. I will be doing our savings and sinking funds at the end of the month in my last EveryDollar video coming up. Don't have a date on that. More than likely it'd be 2 or 3 days, like the weekend before the end of the month. So it'd be Sunday of next Sunday. I can't believe March is already over. Wow. So we'll deal with that then. It looks like all our bills are being paid and coming out. And I don't really have a lot left. I might use this, I might not. We were supposed to get our grass cut this past week, but it rained and it's been raining a lot, and my backyard is saturated. And if he had driven his equipment all over it, it would have just ruts everywhere. And then I have a visa to take care of. So I do have charges on there. As long as I pay it before the 24th, which is a couple days away, I'm waiting for a pending charge, which is a subscription we have put on there for $30. I'm waiting for that pending charge to clear so I can make the payment without having that pending anymore. And that's it. That's all I've got for right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments about how I do things or why I do it the way I do, please put them in the comment section below. You can email me. My email address is always in the description box. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. So if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of these videos, I have a playlist on EveryDollar. I'm going to have a playlist coming up on Excel and how I'm going to do Excel. And yeah, just subscribe to my channel. I do faith videos once a week, and I do budgeting videos at least two to three times a week, depending on what's going on when my husband gets paid. So it always flows with his income. So have an amazing and blessed day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.